Let's talk some Chiefs Super Rugby. And what is wrong with the Chiefs? And when I say what is wrong, I mean, it seems a bit silly to say that because they're 7-3. I mean, they're going to make the semi-finals. They're going to have a home playoff, if not a semi-final. Sorry, they're going to make the quarterfinals. They're going to have could make the semi-final still. They've got a couple of massive games to end the season against the Blues and the Canes. But they just aren't the same Chiefs as last year. David Hill joins us. And thank you very much for that again, David.
No worries, good man.
Look, I don't want to say that the Chiefs are flying under the radar, but do you know what I mean if I say that? That the attention's on those top two, especially from New Zealand, Hurricanes, Blues.
Yeah, we probably haven't hit the heights that we did last year. Haven't quite managed to be as consistent as we wanted to. So we're a little bit under what we would consider performing well week in and week out. So a few things to work on. So happy to be just under the radar, just a touch from the behind the other two.
What do you put it down to, mate? Look, I mean, because we're looking at the Warriors a lot at the moment too, and last year's form compared to this, a drop off can always happen, but then you've got to add in injuries to players. Are the players playing at the peak that they were last year? Are you timing your run for the end of the season, or is it D, all of the above?
D, all of the above. I think it's the competition's tighter. I think we all agree that it's tighter, and potentially some of the Aussie teams have played better. The Blues and the Hurricanes obviously going really well. We've a challenging draw at the start, like a few other teams as well. So yeah, it's just one of those seasons where, and we've been through this maybe 2 years ago, where we're just trying to get a bit of cohesion in the selection, and also just time our run with getting players, all back rest, a few niggles here and there. Just getting your best players firing at the right end of the season. So that's the plan.
Well, when you play well, you play amazingly well, like bearing the Brumbies like that, and so
Yep.
is that the kind of yardstick that you're looking at to try and recreate that every week?
Yeah, well, that's us Chiefs Rugby at our best. It was a dry day in Melbourne, and the ball's moving around, and that's when we're in our happy place. So. When we have days like that, and life's good and the defence is working really hard and set pieces humming along, that's the level that we're after. But unfortunately, we don't get to play 2:30 on Saturdays all the time.
No.
So we have to make a few adjustments around weather and oppositions targeting certain areas and trying to stop us playing the way we want to play. So there's a little bit of chess going on around how we want to play and how teams let us play. So that's sort of the challenge that we're in at the moment, understanding that teams have targeted or done things differently against us, and how we can do that better.
One thing that I think most of us admired about the team last year, though, was you were complete, attack and defence. The defence was ferocious. Attack, you were so physical and strong as well, though. And so, trying to get that balance back again, how close are you to that?
Well, we've had to learn a couple of harsh lessons, so we're probably close to it. We haven't hit the heights. Probably more so on the defensive side of the ball than anything, and a little bit of set piece. Like our attackers, and comfortable with the tries that we score and the variation that we have, that we can get there pretty quickly. It's probably the other areas that we're looking for a bit of a shift. And like I said, in the rain on a Friday night will help us on the defensive side of the ball. So we just that slows teams down and it makes it a little bit harder to attack. So that looking forward to a few Friday nighters and the nitty-gritty and just rolling up our sleeves and getting in some good Chiefs Mana work.
This is David Hill, the Chiefs assistant coach with us. How do you feel about losing to the Crusaders, mate? It's only happened a couple of times this year.
I think we got them once and then lost once, so we're 50-50, but
yeah.
We're pretty much 50-50 against them the whole year or the last 4 or 5 years. Don't like losing to them, especially when they were winless at the time as well. So that one stung a bit, but it probably goes along the growth of the group. We need to be able to, be up for those games every week. Who we're playing. So, that was a bit of a blip, but learned from that one, and we enjoy playing the Crusaders. Not sure if we get to play them again this year. We'll see how the draw pans out.
These last 4 games, how do you look at it? Do you look at it the 4 as a bunch? Do you look at it game by game, or you're looking at, for example, you got MP and then the Rebels, and then 2 absolute monsters to finish with, the Canes and the Blues? How do you actually separate all this?
Well, I hate the cliche, Martin.
That's
but,
okay.
This is 1 week at a time. we've probably learnt that we can't look too far ahead, and if we do look too far ahead, we will stumble. The four, these next 4 games, like you could look at it as this would be prep for the finals, but knowing the way that Moana have played a couple of games this year, and they're at home at Mount Smart, and then we've got the Rebels in Melbourne who are going great guns, and then 2 big games. So